Welcome to the wonderful world of Ryan, and today we are going to be talking about the grizzly bear. So go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell above. So we're going to be talking about some fun things here. Is the grizzly bear. Now, these are specifically the grizzly bears at the Hogel Zoo in Salt Lake City, Utah. And if you are wondering, we are going to give you some in-depth information. So the class is mammal, order is Carnivora, family is Ursidae, genus is Ursus, Ursus, and species is Arctos horribilis. Arctos horribilis. Now, the range of these animals is grizzly bears can be found in Canadian provinces of British Columbia, Alberta, Yukon, Northern Territories, and the United States of Alaska, Idaho, Wyoming, and Washington and Montana. Now, their habitat is the inhabitants of dense forest, Arctic tundra, sub-alpha mountain ranges. Characteristics of these glorious animals are the fur of a grizzly bear ranges from white to cinnamon to black, but often is some shade of brown. The tips are lighter, giving a grizzled effect, hence the name. They have long front claws ranging from 3 to 6 inches. That's huge. They easily recognized by the large muscle mass located between their shoulders. These muscles give the bear tremendous power and strength. In fact, grizzlies have been known to move several tons of dirt while excavating a winter den. So here we see the den right there. We're going to zoom in on that. But it's not that they had to excavate that. So the hump of the grizzly bear is also a good means of identification because the black shoulder muscle is hardly visible. It also has a concave outline to the head of the snout, small ears, and a massive head. The high shoulders that produce the sloping black line, the bear's sense of smell, is much more acute than it is hearing sight. Now, here's some information about the behavior. Grizzlies are generally solitary bears, except females with cubs. One exception is the huge gathering of grizzly bears often occurring during the annual salmon run for summer spawning. During this period of time, dozens of bears gather and feast on fresh, fatty salmon. The fish provides necessary nutrients for grizzlies heading into winter. So large adult males will aggressively defend their place at the head of the social circle, but grizzlies are not territorial, and their home ranges often overlap. More territories vary in size depending on location, but in Yellowstone National Park, that's in the United States, they average 50 square miles. They have an excellent sense of smell and will use their powerful nose to detect prey, sense danger, find subtle foods, locate mates, find their cubs, avoid people. See, they don't want to see you, but we want to see them. So that's why we go to zoos, like at the Hogel Zoo. They can smell carrion, dead flesh, miles away without any wind and will travel over mountains, across rivers, or through dense forest to find it. They will often stand up on their hind legs to get a better smell or better view of something. So here we have the bear walking. Now, do you see the big hump on its back shoulder there that we just talked about? Grizzly bears have a hard time finding food in the winter, so they have the ability to sleep the winter away. To do so, they begin by foraging carbohydrate-rich berries and other foods. Now, I didn't realize they ate berries to put on the weight during the summer. They gain as much as 30 pounds per week. Ugh, that sounds terrible. This helps them to stay alive all winter without eating. As the winter approaches, they pick den sites, crawl in, and take a long winter nap. Ooh, I would like to take a long winter's nap. So, take a long winter's nap. During its sleep, it doesn't eat or relieve itself. So it doesn't mean that it goes to the bathroom or use pee or poop. Pregnant bears wake up long enough to give birth in the den to one or more cubs. They then go back to sleep, only rousing themselves every now and then to lick the cubs and otherwise tend to them. The cubs, meanwhile, nurse safely warm against their mother's belly. At some unknown cue, mom and the cubs, which are now about 3 months old, leave the den behind and get on with their lives in the outdoor world. Could you imagine? You wake up and all of a sudden you're not pregnant anymore, and you already have a 3-month-old that's already pretty self-sufficient. Reproduction. Breeding occurs May or June after 2 to 15 days of courtship. So that means they date for about 2 days or 2 weeks. However, the fertilized egg does not begin to embryonic stage of development inside the womb until October or November. Bears give birth to the smallest of all mammalian young in proportion to the size of the parent. Female grizzlies usually give birth to 2 cubs during denning in January or February. The newborns are blind, hairless, and tiny. Weighing less than a pound, they stay in their dens until springtime. When they have reached about 20 pounds, once they are out in the world, they remain in their mother for at least 2 years or more. The sow generally gives birth to another litter the first spring after separating from her cubs. So that means that she is on the reproductive hunt as soon as she is done giving birth and let her first 2 kids go. Now, I don't know if you can see in that far back canopy back there, there are 2 grizzly bears back there asleep. So this one is walking back there. So here's some interesting facts about grizzly bears. Grizzly bears have excellent sense of smell and hearing, poor eyesight. Adult males may lose up to 1/3 of their body weight when they den up. These big bears can run up to 35 miles per hour. A grizzly's large muscle hump on its shoulder and long front claws make the bear an excellent digger. Now, when we think of bears, we don't think of them as being diggers. We think of them as being carnivorous beasts, kind of like the movie that Leonardo DiCaprio is in. Now, again, if you want to see these bears in and of themselves, the place to see them is at Utah's Hogel Zoo in Salt Lake City, Utah. I recommend going to see them. Now, again, this has been The Wonderful World with Ryan, and go ahead and hit the subscription button below, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so that when we have future episodes. Again, thanks for joining me.